was nearly a year ago when Daunte Wright was killed during a traffic stop when a former Brooklyn Center police officer mistook her gun for a taser. Now, a series of events will commemorate the young man who died on April 11th of last year. The officer, Kim Potter, was eventually convicted of manslaughter for her actions on that fateful day, but a community continues to grieve his death. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on how those close to Daunte Wright plan to honor him.
Shannon, I'm at the Earl Brown Heritage Center where they're setting up for one of two planned events to commemorate Daunte Wright. They're calling it his Angelversary.
I think these are to stick them to the middle of the table.
1 year after an unthinkable tragedy,
In a heart or...
Katie Wright is trying to shed a positive light on an anniversary she'll always associate with pain.
It's hard, so if I keep my mind busy, then I don't think about it as much, and I think that stuff like this helps me get through it. Hello!
Saturday evening,
How are you?
Katie and a group of friends, family, and people from various community organizations
I'm okay.
are coming together to celebrate Daunte's life.
I want it to be a fun event and a time to celebrate because Brooklyn Center, we're making change, and we've paid a big price to do that, but you know what? We're going to move forward and we're going to continue to stand together.
An image of Daunte Wright will greet the visitors of this free event. He was 20 years old when his life was taken by Brooklyn Center Police, and Katie wants everyone to remember who he was as a person.
Daunte was loved. He was our son. He had his whole life ahead of him.
It's a tragic event that will forever be a scar on the city, yet Katie has now devoted her life to making sure that his death wasn't in vain. Meanwhile, Monday's event will happen from 5 to 9 p.m. There'll be a barbecue and candlelight vigil at the site of the Daunte Wright Memorial in Brooklyn Center. In Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
A Crystal man has pleaded guilty this week to attempted first-degree murder in connection with a shooting that injured a Brooklyn Park police officer. Therese Laws was accused of firing 5 to 6 shots at one officer in late 2020. Police were initially called because Laws had violated an order of protection. According to court records, a day before he was about to go to trial, he reached a plea deal. The agreement calls for a sentence of more than 11 years, with Laws likely to serve 6 years and 8 months of that in prison and the rest on supervised release. The officer who was injured was shot in the hip. Officers returned fire, wounding Laws in the arm. City officials in Robbinsdale say it's one of the most expensive and most vetted things the city has ever done. Replace its 85-year-old water tower, and that time has now arrived. The city council recently approved a bid for a new pedestal tower. It will be located on land south of both Highway 100 and Grazier Park. The cost of the replacement, nearly $6 million. About 2 years ago, the cost estimate was less than $4 million. According to city officials, fuel, lumber, and concrete pricing drastically shot up the cost. The current tower will remain and be preserved as a historic landmark. The Animal Humane Society in Golden Valley announced one of its largest donations received in its history. The nonprofit animal shelter and pet adoption facility received a donation of $1 million. It came from an anonymous Twin Cities donor. The funds will be spent on a new care center for pets in St. Paul. As spring musicals return to the stage, we've seen a resurgence of nostalgic shows, and that's the case at West Lutheran High School, where this weekend you can see The Wizard of Oz. Here's a preview in Weekend Showcase.
I didn't do my math assignment.
Have a great show.
In the last few moments before the first show begins at West Lutheran High School, there's no doubt that excitement is in the air.
It's the best show.
Oh, it feels amazing.
We're having our first live musical in 3 years. Due to the pandemic, we had a lot of losses. The whole theater community did.
Yes.
But we really felt it in our school shows because it's one of those activities that students really look forward to.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
To get students back on stage, Denninger says they picked a beloved show.
For those of us that are old enough to remember, way before VCRs, that show came on once a year, and if you missed it, you were out of luck for another 365 days.
But you can see this musical production at West Lutheran this weekend. Denninger's daughter Olivia is a senior and shines as Dorothy.
It's a show everyone knows, or they know the storyline, but you really get to see like the journey of this young girl and figuring out like what family actually means and who your family becomes.
You're running away!
Senior George Afari plays Professor Marvel.
We've been through a lot of singing, a lot of like dancing, and a lot just of hard work, which I'm really proud of everyone.
There are some unexpected surprises in this show too, like the entrance of Miss Gulch through the audience, or even the appearance of a real-life Toto.
Better get the horse on the cover.
The director says the show is as delightful to watch as it was to produce.
Genuinely, this is one of the kindest, most grateful groups of kids I've ever worked with. They are so supportive of one another, and I'm just really excited for people to come and see the work that they've put into it.
There are shows Friday and Saturday at 7 and Sunday at 2 p.m. at West Lutheran High School. You can buy your tickets at the door. A Plymouth brewery is taking a stand this weekend by raising money for humanitarian aid for the people of Ukraine. Luce Brewing got the idea by watching the events unfold in the Eastern European country, but also a couple of the staff members have Ukrainian heritage. On Saturday, the brewery will host a food truck with Ukrainian food and a band playing traditional Ukrainian music. It partnered with Kremarchek's and the Ukrainian American Community Center for the event.
There's going to be great food, there's a great cause, there's great beer, and an opportunity to really have some fun, but at the same time, really help some people that need it.
Luce Brewing will also donate $1 for every beer sold on tap. And you can learn more about this on our website.
We'll start our CCX All-Area Girls Basketball team with a loaded backcourt. Number 5, Amaya Battle of Hopkins, is a Miss Basketball finalist. The University of Minnesota signee averaged 11 points, 4 assists, and 3 steals for the Class 4A champion Royals. Number 10, Mara Braun of Wayzata, wrapped up a great career this season. Another future Gopher, Braun overcame an injury to average 20.7 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. She's an All-Star Game selection. Number 1, Olivia Olson of Benilde St. Margaret's, is a super sophomore who is ranked as one of the top guards nationally in her class. Olson averaged 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists while helping the Red Knights to the state Class 3A tournament. Number 22, senior Michaela Counts of Champlain Park, surpassed 1,000 career points late in the season. Counts averaged 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals, and was Rebels team MVP. Number 11, Hannah Herzig, led Totino Grace to the state Class 3A title with a spectacular state tournament. Herzig averaged 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4.5 steals, and 4 assists. She'll play at Minnesota State Mankato. Number 24, Kyla Overski of Maple Grove, is a great shooter. Overski hit 38% of her threes and was 8 for 9 in a game against Anoka. Overski averaged 13.3 points and 3.8 rebounds for the Northwest Suburban champion Crimson. Number 30, Madden Greenway, is a dynamic 8th grader who helped Providence Academy to the state Class 2A title. Greenway was IMAC Conference Player of the Year and averaged 23.7 points, 4.7 assists, and 3.5 steals. Osseo's number 1, Alea Wilson, can flat out score. The junior averaged 27 points with 4 rebounds and 3 steals. The All-Northwest Suburban pick broke Osseo's single-game scoring record with a 47-point effort and is 6th in career scoring at Osseo with 1 season left. Number 3, Leah Dengerud, was another key cog in Totino Grace's title run. Dengerud averaged 17.8 points, 3.5 steals, and 7 rebounds. She has the school record for points, free throw percentage, and three-point percentage, and will play for Concordia St. Paul. Number 23, Liv McGill, stood out among her older Hopkins teammates with a great state tournament performance. For the season, McGill averaged 11 points, 3.7 assists, and 2 steals. Rounding out our guards, number 22, Kennedy Click of Maple Grove. The All-State Honorable Mention pick averaged 12 points, 5 assists, 6.5 rebounds, and 2 steals. Our post players are led by McDonald's All-American number 34, Maya Naji of Hopkins. Arizona signee Naji averaged 16.3 points and 7.8 rebounds. The Gatorade Minnesota Player of the Year is a Miss Basketball finalist. Number 42, Maria Counts, wrapped up her Providence Academy career with a state title. Counts averaged 12 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 5 assists, and is the program's all-time leader in rebounds, assists, and blocks. Number 52, Savannah McGowan of Armstrong, a 6'2 junior, averaged 18.7 points and 11 rebounds. She surpassed 1,000 points and became Armstrong's all-time leading rebounder with 1 season left. Our forwards include number 20, junior Taylor Woodson of Hopkins. The Michigan commit is an all-state pick who averaged 14.7 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals. Number 40, Abby Kruzinski of Wayzata can shoot and drive. The junior averaged 10.4 points and 5 rebounds while hitting 38% of her three-pointers. Number 41, junior Grace Counts was an all-tournament team selection in the Class 2A tournament for Providence. She averaged 15.3 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 3 assists for the Lions and played her best in the postseason. Number 24, Nunu Aguera of Hopkins was a second-team All-Metro pick. The junior averaged 13.4 points, 6 rebounds, and made 56% of her shots. Aguera is committed to play for Stanford. We're overloaded with talent, the CCX All-Area Girls Basketball Team.